Marking decals are placed on aircraft surfaces to provide servicing instructions, fuel and oil specs, tank capacities, and to mark areas that should be identified. Many times they would just be applied on an aircraft surface to have a new scheme or mark in occasions. These markings can be applied by stenciling or by using decals. Decals are used instead of painted instructions because they are usually less expensive and easier to apply. Suitable for exterior and interior surface application, aviation decals are usually of three types: paper, metal, or vinyl film. Today we will stick to vinyl application. Regardless of decal type, however, to get proper adhesion, the surfaces where a decal must come should be thoroughly cleansed. Be sure to seal up or sand off rough surfaces and remove any residue. The graphic may not adhere very well if it is cold and damp. The surface temperature should be at least 15 degrees Celsius to install vinyl lettering or graphics. Use a hot air gun to warm the surface if too cold. So, let us start with applying some kind of mark on an airplane or any surface for that matter. Vinyl applications are either wet or dry. They are simple to explain. So, let's get wet first. Some of the stuff that you might need include denatured alcohol, lint-free wipe down, spray bottle, tape measure, pencil, scissors, masking tape, and burnishing tool. Step 1. The wet application. Like we mentioned earlier, be sure that you have wiped the surface absolutely clean before applying the graphic. Remove dirt, oil, grease, or wax, or anything that will prevent the glue from adhering to the surface. For surface cleaning, use denatured alcohol to degrease contaminated surfaces. Mild detergent or panel white works well on painted surfaces. Once the surface has been wiped clean, use a lint-free cloth to dry. Tape the decal to the surface where you want it without removing the backing or the top masking. Be sure to place the graphic in the exact spot where you want it. Measure both ends from the top and lateral datum duly determined to ensure level positioning. Tape both ends of the pre-masked graphic surface at its very edge to hold it in place. Take a few steps away from the surface and see if the graphic is set in the spot where you wanted it. Now walk back toward the graphics and take it down. Leave the tape markers where they are. Now the next step, the wetting. Step 4. Gently remove the backing from the graphic and spray a mix of 3 cups of warm water and few drops of dish soap onto the peeled surface, the back of the graphic that is, and the surface where the decal must come. This will delay the adhesive application between the graphic and the surface, allowing you to move into perfection. This technique will also help remove wrinkles and bubbles. Step 5. Next, place the graphic on the wet surface and adjust until it comes in the exact spot you already marked. Be sure not to touch the adhesive. Use the burnishing tool to squeegee the graphic flat with light overlapping strokes from center out. Take the lint-free towel and dry out the surface. Squeegee the graphic once again. Work from center to push all the water out toward the edges. Once the graphic is firmly in place, remove the marking tape. Allow up to an hour to dry. Step 6. Dry squeegee the graphic with firm pressure, then remove the pre-mask starting at 45 through 180 degrees angle depending on size of the graphic. Work gently until complete. Use the lint-free cloth to dry the surface. Check for wrinkles and or bubbles. Squeegee out the wrinkles, and if bubbles, simply use a needle to puncture and smoothen out. The dry application entails tapping the graphic in position determined for level using the same datum to measure as with wet placement. Squeegee the graphic flat, then remove the pre-mask. Of course, be sure to clean the surface like during wet application. Place a tape in the center to act as a hinge and then peel off the backing from the edge to the hinge. Cut the peel backing and hold the vinyl along the pre-mask. Begin squeegeeing the pre-mask on the surface from middle out to the end. Remove the center hinge and repeat the process on the other half. Finally, remove the pre-mask along the graphic, allowing the vinyl to stick to the surface. If at any point the vinyl lifts, gently replace the pre-mask and squeegee once again. Finally, step back and be proud of what has been accomplished.